Hello, and a very short video clip just to introduce the handout Statistics for Archaeologists. And I guess I've got 3 points to make. The first one is give a little bit of thought to the idea of statistics. It might be that the decision for you is that they are just not relevant for your study and you're just not going to want to use any statistics whatsoever. That's absolutely fine. But consider the idea of using statistics and make a decision to reject them rather than just drift into not using something. The second sort of point is around anything you do with numbers, with tables, with graphs. Make sure it is clear, make sure that you keep it rather simple. Think through what you're doing. Don't just get dragged into doing something because it's possible to do it with a utility on the computer. Make an actual decision that you want to do something. And I guess my third sort of point is around statistical tests. Now, this is, I think, the area which very quickly gets frightening. I'm certainly not a statistician. I find it all very, very complicated, but nonetheless there is the recognition that something is needed. And on the handout, I've looked very briefly at two tests that I think might be worth considering. One is Pearson's chi-squared test. This is Carl Pearson's test from 1900, so it's one that's been around for a very long time, and it's got all sorts of different applications. It's a great way at looking at data and deciding whether it actually means something which is significant. So it might be something that is worth considering. One of the previous MA Archaeology students made a lot of use of it for her data, and she was able to demonstrate that a distribution she had found really was significant. It was caused by something. It wasn't a random distribution. In effect, she went on to argue that it was caused by human intervention, and she had a very strong thesis as a result. So chi-squared analysis might be good, might be useful. You can also look at something like the student's t-test. The student, so-called, is William Gossett. William Gossett was working in Dublin for the Guinness brewery, but Guinness had a policy that people couldn't publish under their name while they were working for Guinness. So he used the pseudonym student. And he has given a test which again you might be able to use. I've given a little example which perhaps Guinness employee William Gossett would have approved of. Not with Guinness. I've looked at 6 bottles of wine. So an idea of a test which you may be able to apply. If you've got a lot of facts and figures in numerical form in your thesis, it may well be that you could usefully use some sort of statistical test. So maybe, just maybe, it's worthwhile having a think about it. Do have a little look through the handout. Maybe there's something there that might be useful. Cheerio for now.